Hello, Africa. This is eTVGhana's African Women's Voices show. My name is Eunice Tony, and you are welcome to the exciting edition for today. It's AU Day here on African Women's Voices show. Yesterday was the official celebration, but today we choose to celebrate it because that's when we have our show, actually. And we introduced it with a very beautiful piece from Angelique Kidjo and Easy, and it was really exciting. I hope you were dancing. You know, you stepped up, right? Good, good. Okay, so now we are ready to take off with the show. I am very, very sure that most of us are seated right now, expecting to see our guests, Dr. Joyce and Dr. Hazel and Joyce. They are already seated here. I'm going to introduce them in due time. But as usual, I'd like to actually acknowledge my sponsors. And first on the list is Chana Sheto. Chana is #1 special spicy sauce here in Ghana that if you've not tried it, you really need to try it. I always say that food doesn't taste good without chana shito. Try it with your jollof rice, with beans, fried egg, gari, eba, kenke. What food would you want to take? Amala. For those of us in Nigeria, you definitely will enjoy it with very good chana shito. So if somebody is coming down to Ghana, just ask a person to get you a souvenir. And that souvenir should be nothing else but chana shito. Another sponsor of ours is Lizzie's Tomato Mix. Wow, have you tasted the jollof rice that they've used Lizzie to prepare? If you've not, or that very tasty jollof you ate somewhere, it was Lizzie's Tomato Mix. I'm telling you, find out from that person who cooked it. It was Lizzie's Tomato Mix. So if you've not found it yet, go to your vendor right now and ask for Lizzie's Tomato Mix. So you cook the delicious abenkwan, delicious light soup, nkatenkwan, ebunebunu. You know, have you tried Lizzie inside with a ebunebunu? You've not tried it? Hey, I have. And it's so, so, so good. And my dress is proudly put together by Afariwa Styles. Check out the sleeve. Am I not looking, you know, very, very good? You can really tell that I look good. See this one. See this one. Hey, Afariwa, thank you very much. Now I can raise my hands and feel like Africa, 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 Africa. You can locate Afariwa Styles very, very close to you. If you just go on your phone right now, type in afariwa.styles on Facebook or Instagram, and you get to see all the styles she's got. That tailor or seamstress who has been telling you to come today and tomorrow, forget that person. Go to Afariwa Styles. Yes. When you go there, you find already made outfits. You fit into it. Once it works, you're on the go. And that is what we want to be doing now. Afariwa has also introduced gift vouchers, making it very easy for you to get people what they really want. You don't want to get them fabrics and they don't like it. You don't want to sew a style and they don't really feel good about it. Get them Afariwa Styles gift voucher and you sort them all out. Okay? So her phone number is right now at the base of your screen. Well, by this time she may have closed, but she takes calls very well. You can call her and let her know you're coming tomorrow to get to see her. She's located physically in Osu and also on the Teshi Nungwa Road at the container bus stop. And oh, my hair. Hey, I was hair. Thank you so much for making me look this good. I'm loving it. And even my guests are loving it. You know, Joyce and Dr. Hazel are all smiling and smiling, admiring me. You need to see them. They are also glittering. But before I introduce them to you, I'd like to take you over to the 60 seconds update segment where we tell you what's happening to women in Africa and in Ghana. Do stay tuned.
Managing Director of Absa Bank Ghana, Abena Osei-Poku, has been named as one of Africa's 50 most influential female corporate leaders by Leading Ladies Africa. They are a women-focused non-profit organization based in sub-Saharan Africa, which is committed to promoting leadership and excellence among African women. In response to the announcement, Mrs. Osei said, "I am truly honored and humbled by this recognition. As a leader, my passion and commitment is to give meaning to people's lives, and this remains my guiding principle as we continue to drive shared prosperity for all." One of the embattled organizations in the music industry is the Ghana Music Rights Organization, GAMBRO, which has been afflicted with constant accusations of mismanagement leading to little or no payment of royalties. gospel musician Abena Ruthie believes lack of communication or communication gap is Gambo's main problem. Abena Ruthie is vying for the position of a board member in the upcoming Gambo elections, and she said she would use her communication skills to improve the organization's image. She is the executive director of International Women of Destiny. Vida Asiedua, the mother of the 2-year-old boy who died when a fuel tanker carrying diesel from Kumasi caught fire after hitting a packed commercial bus on reaching a sharp curve in that community, said she was helpless when her son was burning into ashes. According to her, she left her 2-year-old son with her husband, who is suffering from stroke, at home while she went to work. While the house was burning and people were running for their lives, some neighbors were able to save her husband, but unfortunately could not save the boy because they had no idea he was left at home. The unfortunate event saw more than 15 houses burning, leaving about 150 people displaced, with some properties and monies destroyed.
You're welcome back to eTVGhana's African Women's Voices show. It is the show that tackles issues pertaining to women as they contribute to national development. Now, we told you on social media that we're going to be tackling a particular issue today, which has got a lot to do with the celebration around Special AU Day. And we decided to look for people who are very seasoned and really understand the issues of women. And they are no other people than the EWN, Executive Women's Network. So you've heard a lot about them, and I'd like you to know that they are 5 years old and they are having their anniversary. So if you've been very observant, you notice that a lot of them have been across various media houses championing excellence and talking about what women ought to do to become a better version of themselves. So today we are going to be gracing our station with two personalities that really are very, they are smiling and they are friendly, they are gorgeous, they are intelligent, and they are still down to earth. So the conversation is going to be one that we all will relax and enjoy. They're going to take us back to how Africa was looking before, how it is now, and what we look forward to in the future. So ladies and gentlemen, join me as I make welcome to you. Let's do the drum roll as usual. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah! Dr. Hazel is sitting to my immediate right, and then we have Joyce sitting next to her. You're both welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
All right, so usually we like our guests to just say a little bit about themselves so that people get to understand who it is that is speaking, because we get people who got authority on the conversation. We do not bring in just any kind of persons. No, we don't do that. So I'll start with you, Dr. Hazel. Tell us just a little bit about yourself.
So Hazel is my first name. Second name's Puiwaberat Amwa. I'm Fanti, I'm Ghanaian. HR professional with 25 years experience. I'm a chartered insurer. I write as well, so I'm an author by profession as well. I have two lovely kids, and from a family that is full of love and happiness. My parents come from Western region based in Takoradi. Yeah.
Oh, nice. And I am from Western region too. Axim to be precise.
Apokenoe.
Hey, yeah, okay.
Oh, wow.
All right, Joyce, let's make our audience get to meet you. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
First name is Joyce. Full name is Joyce Ajari. I'm in the publishing business. I represent a U.S. global publishing company called Scholastic. I look after their business in Western Africa, Kenya, Tunisia, and Morocco. I'm also an education consultant. I work with students to help open up options for them to study abroad and pretty much check out the world and see what else is out there for them.
Amazing. You see, these ladies understand Africa. They understand the world too.
And I'm happy to be here and have something in common with you, Hazel. I've authored 2 books, children's books.
2 books?
Yes.
Wow.
Children's books.
Oh, that's nice. And it's out?
Oh, yeah. It's out.
Hey.
But I write under a pseudonym, so you wouldn't know it's me.
Okay, okay. Totally understand. Okay, now, so let's get to EWN. Could you tell us about EWN? Maybe for somebody who is hearing about it for the first time. Let's have an understanding of what EWN is. Do we go with you, Joyce, or will Hazel start with it?
Okay, I'll go, and Hazel will carry on as well.
Okay.
EWN is a fantastic family. I've really had a lot of fun being an EWN member. It started with 6 fantastic ladies who were C-suite ladies and decided that women needed a network that would cater to their needs. And basically, it's a non-governmental organization for corporate women and women who are entrepreneurs. And we draw our members from, business leaders, and also from spaces where women are right at the top of, their game. We also have a supervision, which caters to the needs of women as well. Our vision is to inspire, empower, and support women executives so that they can be successful in the spaces that they're in and be the very best that they can be, so that they can be influential locally and internationally. There's a lot of talk about women empowerment and what have you, and our founders thought it was necessary to have a hub where we can collaborate. So one of our mission statements, for instance, is about collaboration and self-actualization so that we can develop ourselves. Women leaders have certain needs, and it's good for women to conference and talk about those needs. We also align with the Sustainable Development Goals, the 5th one, which is about gender equality and empowerment for women and the girl child. And we're very much interested in that agenda where women also get a seat at the table. And then the other thing that we also do, and mind you, in doing all this, we have a whole lot of fun as well. The other thing that we also do is to, bring people along with us. So our membership is made up of the executive women and our sisters we call associate members who are climbing the executive ladder. And we also have a term that we use, lifting as we rise.
Lifting as we rise.
Exactly.
EWN, lifting as we rise.
So even as, we are executive women, we're up there, it is our responsibility to ensure that, we are bringing, our younger sisters who are climbing the career ladders along with us. There's a whole lot more. Let me leave it to Hazel to talk about her experience.
Okay, all right. So take it away, Hazel.
So EWN, as a member, what are the benefits? What have I enjoyed so far? I was privileged that 5 years ago when I was started, I was one of the inaugural members to sign up to EWN. It's very inspiring to be in the same room with women who have really broken the glass ceiling in different types of businesses across industry and even across the continent and even some globally. So we have women in EWN who are even out of Africa doing great things, but nice. Ghanaians out of Africa doing great things in different countries. The other part of it, which is very, very interesting, is, as my big sister mentioned, lifting as we rise. How do we coach freely younger women when there's potential for them to unleash, to do different things? How do we mentor other women? So half the time you have people who require mentoring support because they're going through something that, without the mentoring support, they couldn't, really have the full privilege of achieving in terms of their full results. So you have someone who's done it before, who can support you, have time for you, speak to you, and encourage you to do better. Plus, it's like a very friendly club. It's a family. The sisterhood in EWN is very unique.
Yeah,
the very popular saying about women straightening each other's crowns is EWN. In EWN, you have a sister who call you when you're struggling and help you straighten your crown to become better than you were before.
Exactly.
You have women looking out for you. You have women who are encouraging you in different parts of your life, regardless of your professional background, your business background, even on personal issues where they've, had more experience than you have, and they think that they can lend support. I've had women in EWN reach out to me when I was struggling the most in my life, my private life. During a very, very difficult part of my life, I had sisters in EWN who I'd known before we joined the club together, reach out to me and say, listen, we think you're having a problem. How can we help? And they helped me and would check on me and make sure that myself and my children were okay. So
they
that's the
help you
power.
and people don't hear about it, because a lot of times people always talk
absolutely.
about women behaving like that, or
Yeah,
when they help you then it's
absolutely.
everywhere. So
Yeah,
that's not the
yeah.
case with EWN.
Because with EWN, you have a decent crop of women, cultured women, women with purpose, women with integrity,
Yeah,
women who
exactly.
have, you know, your best interest at heart. So they seek to walk with you through a journey for it to continue your path to success. So your dream as a woman has to be realized, and EWN helps you to achieve that. So when you get into EWN, the most important thing is understand the dynamics. You know, you have a variety of women, diverse backgrounds, huge potential, huge accomplishments. There is never anybody in EWN who thinks they are too low or too high.
Okay.
Because as she said, we lift to rise. So you find your place, you connect with everybody that you can connect with, and create relationships. And you build your confidence level, because there are very confident women out there in EWN doing great things. And these are shared on the platforms that we have on WhatsApp and other, you know, kinds of platforms. So, but for COVID, we would meet regularly and have conferences and have all kinds of debates. But with COVID, our WhatsApp platform is very active. We have information literally on a daily basis. So you can be inspired by somebody you've never even met before. Before we started the program, I was having a chat with Auntie Joyce about a lady that we both admire, doing great stuff in customer service.
Yeah.
I just saw her profile.
Exactly.
I've never met her personally before because we are quite a number. But I just asked for her number on the platform privately, and I have it. So I'm just going to call her for her to help my team, for us to enhance our customer orientation skills. So that's how it works in EWN. We help each other through our network
Amazing.
to grow.
And I was actually very happy to see Mrs. Osei of APSA.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
she won
Yes.
this
She's
award.
one
And
of us.
she's
Yes.
one of you.
She's one of us. And we have a good number of
Yes.
them. And it's so inspiring to know that they're your sisters. You can call on them.
Absolutely.
If you want to sharpen certain competencies and they have the know-how, you know, they'll make themselves available to help out.
Okay.
And also one more thing about what we stand for. One of our mission statements is to make sure that we are at a place where we are ready to be at the table for discussions about policies associated with women. Because as you know, there are certain things that are steeped in policy and there's nothing you can do about them. So if we can be at the place where those discussions are being had, then our voices can be heard, and what you know, interests are can also be looked at. So that's something that you know, we take seriously. We will take on a course that's associated with women, and make sure that as the dialogue goes on about that, the voices of our members, you know, are heard, and you know, hopefully the right decisions are made that will benefit women.
Awesome.
And when you know, when things benefit women, they actually are benefiting everybody.
Absolutely.
That's true.
That's something that we miss.
Yeah, when
when
women benefit, it gets to everyone.
It does.
That is really true. So now we've talked about, you know, the beautiful things about EWN. So, and you also mentioned that, you know, you lift each other, you know, to rise. So what kind of challenges do women executives actually, you know, face that we could talk about, and, you know, how you've been able to get them to rise above these challenges? Because I'm sure even as they face it in where they are, a lot of women are actually facing challenges as executives. They may not be members of EWN, but I mean, the whole idea is to get people to understand that there's a place for you at EWN if things like this are happening to you. So what kind of challenges do women actually face that we could just highlight on?
Several. So first of all, let's start from the home. Auntie Joyce. So the challenge sometimes, and I'm using the word carefully, sometimes is even from the home, where you may have a spouse who is not very supportive of your career aspirations and your career progression. So that challenge itself, to have a spouse who is not very supportive, or a family system that's not too supportive of your progress as a woman, can itself be very daunting. The added layer of leadership itself being one place which is very lonely at the top is real for both male and female. But imagine having a baggage from home and coming to a place of work where you have to face very serious issues, you know, come up with headwinds and be able to overcome all those obstacles as a woman leader who is already stereotyped to say that, I mean, people suggest that you even had a position by, not by merit, but by somebody doing you a favor, you know. So you have sometimes the situation where women in these positions are having male, you know, subordinates who do not succumb to their leadership, or who do not, you know, respect their leadership. And you have other women also, unfortunately, who are not cooperative enough to support a leader in executing whatever plans they have to execute. So women coming from historically a place where we were known to be second place or a bit disadvantaged, you have to always work twice as hard to earn your respect and your seat at the table. Ask any woman who is in leadership, it's not been an easy journey, because you first have to even prove to yourself and your other female colleagues that you are the one who is capable of being in that position. Plus, as a leader itself, sometimes chatting on popular parts or having to embark on very serious change initiatives in a business, or having to start things which are new and uncommon, how do you still have that unpopular vision and have others, you know, supporting you? So the challenges are quite several. In conclusion on my point, before I pass over to Auntie Joyce to sort of finish on that, if you have, for example, a spouse at home who, even though supports your career, doesn't understand that your role as a woman is not just being domestic, we have a problem.
Yeah.
I speak to so many women, and we have several women that we engage with who have supportive husbands, who are proud of their wives and what they're doing at work. But when they come back home, there is no further support in terms of managing or running the home when it comes to the food and the kids and managing everything domestic. The men take a backbench, and then the woman is overburdened, you know, managing, you know, both the home and managing the office. They end up burning out, their health is affected, their mindset is affected, you know, so mentally, physically, and even emotionally, they are stretched.
True.
These are serious challenges, not to mention sometimes the economic burden. So that woman is in that position now, so every family economic burden is put on that woman. You don't have a spouse who supports you with children's upkeep. You have a family who is making all kinds of demands. So women struggle on a lot of issues. Women, as we are, we don't always voice our issues. And sometimes you voice an issue to a person, it is misinterpreted, it's misconstrued, and you end up just keeping quiet and suffering in silence. And that's one of the biggest killers for most women who are rising or have risen to a very high position. Auntie Joyce, you want to add to that?
Yes, I think one of the main issues that we have is our biology.
Okay.
You know, women are caregivers. We are the ones that will get pregnant and have to take time off work to look after, you know, children. And you will find that even in our local setting, if there's an old person, it's likely to be a woman who's looking after, yes. So all these things affect any kind of career progression. So I would say that it is the world mindset also. You know, she's a woman. She once she takes time off to go have babies, then she's not ready to move on. Maybe by the time she comes back, we the men would have you know, taken center stage anyway. So it's a challenge in terms of women changing and having children and still going back to work, but the world still thinking that these women are not actually at work, but they are. And you will find that even in our local setting, when the woman doesn't even go back to work, they're still selling something on the table, or they're actually working. Yeah. So they're multitasking. So our biology doesn't help us, and it's simply because of the mindset of the world. There are also cultural issues associated with it. I mean, you're a woman, and so, you know, where do you think you're going? Kind of.
Yeah,
and she's touched on, you know, getting support from home. So I wouldn't mention that. The other thing too is sexual harassment. I'm sorry to say, it still sits with us. The people who want sexual favors, the guys before they let you in the door. And then Hazel alluded to that as well. There's something called the Queen Bee syndrome. You know what the Queen Bee is? There's another woman. It's another woman. So sometimes it's us too. You know, so those are challenges. Also, sometimes we're not quite ready to take on the challenge. I think that you know, for a woman to be given the opportunity to be right up there, to be chosen as a top executive, they should be ready anyway. Okay. So you've got the skill sets and competencies and everything, and you're pretty much like an octopus. You're kind of ready to launch out. So you train yourself to see the opportunity, and once it's there, you grab it. That's what the men are doing all the time. They have the meeting before the meeting, and they get their sponsors, and here we are, Sister Love down there somewhere, not doing what we do so well at EWN, because that's what we do. Dialogue at a higher level, telling our sisters, yes, you can do it, that kind of thing. So those are, challenges. But, at a place like EWN, where, the hub is all about women networking and telling ourselves that, yes, we can do it. Yeah, I think that a lot of those challenges can be quite happily surmounted.
All right, we're going for a quick commercial break. When we return, we begin to discuss Africa. Since the topic says we're looking at how we're going to scale up African women leaders, for the future. So I don't want you to go anywhere. Just stay. Right after the break, we'll talk about Africa and the way forward. Do stay tuned. And you're welcome back to eTVGhana's African Women's Voices show. If you missed the first half of the show, well, let me just, put you up to what we have been discussing. We're discussing EWN and how EWN supports every member to rise. And it's not a group where, you find people pulling others down. A lot of times people tag women that way. When women are in a group, they pull, people down. That's not how it is. And Joyce and Dr. Hazel have come to let us understand that women need to be together, pull each other together to rise. We've discussed some of the challenges that women face, which has to do with being the queen bee and being caregivers and biology not actually being on our side. And we need help. So we need the support of our spouses. We need the support of family, friends, people around us need to support us to rise. So that's where we are. However, when we started the show, we mentioned the fact that it's a special edition, around AU, and we want to see how we can scale up, when it comes to African women leaders. We do not have too many of them, and these are because of some of the issues that they've raised as challenges. If you're not being seen at home, how much more can you be seen, within your continent and even beyond your continent? So now let's take a look at Africa, in the 50s. Before OAU was born and even after OAU was born. I think Dr. Hazel will take us through that, but don't worry, she's going to be very, very brief about it. When you appreciate how Africa was, then we can let you know how Africa is doing now and what we seek to do with women for the future. So, take it away.
It's interesting that, thank God for technology, we can look back and watch videos and read books and do research on what happened in the 50s when some of us were not even born, right? One of the things I'm personally very happy about is, as part of my upbringing, my father and my mother would make us watch videos of the African struggle, of the pre-independence era, for us to understand where we come from, or where we're coming from as Africans and as Ghanaians. So my history tells me in the 50s, there was a lot of pressure politically, economically, for a liberation, for independence. So we had real leaders like the Kwame Nkrumahs that we are very proud of, meeting with other African leaders and having other political parties, even within Ghana, in the struggle for independence. There was a lot of pressure on the colonial masters to release our country and our resources back to us, for us to have our own rule, self-rule. So that was the era in the 50s. And that kind of pressure was not only in Ghana, it was a Pan-African kind of pressure. And if you remember, Kwame Nkrumah would even talk about things around having one Africa, and he was misunderstood in terms of his vision. But he was looking at not only Ghana being liberated, but all the other 50-odd countries in Africa being liberated, so that we can all be independent and enjoy our resources and grow. So that was a pressure that we had in the 50s. There was a very familiar, popular meeting in Manchester 15 years after a lot of African countries became independent. The question, though, is, after that independence, what has happened to Africa today? About 8 odd years ago, I was in a conversation around the political situation in Ghana with a few friends. And somebody made a statement around, oh, we should go back to the colonialism. And I laughed. Because at the time, colonialism was seemingly helping the African, but it was in exchange for a seemingly very mediocre level of development, considering the largeness and vastness of our resources as Africans. So if you look at Ghana, for example, gold, diamond, bauxite, cocoa, coffee, timber, manganese, name them, not to mention the people and our culture, which is so rich in tourism. What has been the leverage? during the colonial era, it was more of taking out of Ghana, taking out of Africa to develop countries. Today that we have independence, what are we using all these resources for? All the gold, all the diamond, all the bauxite. We now have galamsey issues because we have not been able to leverage mining and protecting our resources in a way that makes us have an advantage. So the question now is, from a leadership perspective in Africa, 50 odd years after independence, what have we achieved? And what are we achieving? And that's a picture of Africa and Ghana today. After colonial rule, we've been able to have our independence. We have a multi-party system where democracy is seemingly working. What are we still doing? Begging for resources through the IMF and the World Bank to help us to develop. So that's the current picture of Africa. Auntie Joyce, you want to add to that?
Yeah, I mean, it really, which is why we talk about neocolonialism, isn't it?
Yes,
because
it's happening.
It means that nothing really changed. It's just that the name, you know, kind of
changed. It has transitioned from colonialism to neocolonialism.
Exactly.
Because even the IMF support that we always get, a lot of people may not know, but if you look into it, it comes with conditions.
A lot of
Structural adjustment programs.
I know.
You know, where they tell you to take away subsidies from, you know, certain goods, to actually make people pay for medical services, to make people pay for education, make people pay so much for everything. So people are deprived and people suffer. And sometimes you hear people saying, okay, you need to do this for us, you need to solve these issues. Sometimes these issues are not being solved because of the SAP. You have absolutely no idea the kinds of deals that have gone on. Yes.
Exactly.
You have no idea. So you feel that, oh, we have the bauxite, we have the manganese, we've got the cocoa, so we should have the money. Well, unfortunately, you don't have the money because the conditions that come with the loans that your government has collected says ABC should be happening. So sometimes we need to tell our people the truth. And I don't know why sometimes leaders don't really tell them. Let them know these are the conditions of whatever it is we went to sign for. So if we are suffering this way, it is because of ABC. But, well, they have their reasons why they're not doing it. But we really need people to understand that these conditions don't really help us. And if we appreciate these conditions, then it will help us to even self-sustain ourselves. You no longer have to depend on the government to take care of you, because you know that subsistence will help you. If it's that small business you've got, if it's subsistence farming you want to get into, why not? You just get into it and, you know, survive and not depend totally on government. I think that's my take on it. I feel that we really, really need to understand that let's not depend on government. Let's see how we can actually work for ourselves and make the money, because without it...
No, but you know, you are part of government. Isn't
Okay,
it? You
that's
elect
also
the leaders.
Yeah.
You elect the leaders, so we do have a responsibility
to hold them accountable.
To hold them accountable, and also to, you know, get the right people to do their job. You know, that's our responsibility as citizens, which is why we go and vote. But it's a multifaceted and very complex problem, because in this country, many people cast their votes because of, you know, they belong to a certain tribe sometimes, or they have certain affiliations, which is truly unfortunate. We don't cast votes based on issues, you know, and you know, solutions that have been proposed. It's not simple, but definitely it is clear that considering the fact that many African countries became independent so many years ago, and comparing us to places like Singapore, it is clear that something is not right. And I dare say, there's no research to prove this, but I dare say that if we bring more women to the table to have discussions, maybe
there could be a change, you know.
Maybe there could be a change, because we make up about half of, you know,
the population.
Yes. So why are there so few of us at the top? And we have our own ways of proposing problems and what have you.
Makes a lot
of
sense.
And we need help from the menfolk. I'm not saying that this is not against men. This is about how we can all together
make things work.
And make it work.
All right, so we'll be going for another quick commercial break. When we return, we're going to be discussing how are we going to scale women leaders up, knowing that we've got all these challenges around us that we just mentioned. What do we do? What do we need to do? You can also call us. We'll be opening our phone lines. If you want to, you know, make a contribution to the conversation, you are very free to do that. But when we come back, we'll be talking about what should we be doing to scale up, you know, African women leaders. Do stay tuned. And you're welcome back to ETV Ghana's African Women's Voices show. It is the special edition of AU Day. All right, so just before we went on the break, I said we're going to be talking about what women can do, you know, around the entire situation. What can women do to change Africa? Do you believe women can do something to change Africa? Well, Dr. Hazel is going to start answering that question for us. Dr. Hazel, what do you think women can do?
A lot.
Okay.
So in the space of technology, we have brilliant women. COVID has taught us that the world is now a technological platform. So how can women really contribute to that, you know, space? And just before we went on break, we talked about women being able to multitask. Women are multi-intelligent. We have several types of intelligence as women. How do we tap into these? So it's about time we try to identify the women in different spaces and give them specific assignments and empower them. There is nothing a woman who is empowered, has an opportunity, and is willing to do, cannot do. I take it again. Once women are willing, they're empowered, and they have the opportunity to do something, they excel. Across history, across the various continents, we can see women in these positions doing amazing stuff. So in the space of technology, we have a great opportunity. I will quickly say this and pass on to Auntie Joyce for lack of time. The ADB has published a study that in this year, if we are not careful, Africa as a continent will be short of 275 billion when it comes to raw material because of the COVID impact on the continent. How do we get women economists in this space, women who drive technology, women industrialists in this space to really help government? You don't have to be in a government position to have change. How do governments reach out and give women these opportunities, empower them and say, ladies, get it over and done with? With our multiple intelligence and multitasking abilities, I am sure the women can make a difference. Auntie Joyce?
Yeah, I mean, I think that we should train, and also remember that we have potential. You know, it is a known fact that if a job is available and the man can do 60% of what is asking, they will go and apply. A woman will wait until they've crossed all the T's and dotted all the I's.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we want to be perfect before we go for it. Yeah.
Overly.
So, you know, for us to scale up, we just need to know that we're that good.
Okay.
And then we network, like we do at EWN, and we train, and be at the ready for what's coming, so that we can, you know, grab those opportunities. And then the other thing too is to not be afraid, to be courageous. This is why we have all these campaigns that we're running at EWN. You know, our tagline for our 5th anniversary is "We see you, be bold." The theme is celebrating women of impact. Yeah, we need to be out there. We need to tell the girls that yes, we are also making you know, positive changes in our different spaces, that we are impactful.
Oh, nice.
Once we're doing all those things, I think you know, that notion that women can also do it will filter down. Okay. Because we have to. There's a you know, a kind of situation that we call catch them early. Catch them early is you start from the bottom, right? Yes. There are people who are so steeped in tradition, no matter what you do, they won't change. That's how they were brought up and whatever. You never mind the conversations that we're having. Yeah. But if at this point in time, we are putting it in a curriculum, it's sitting, I mean, I'm from the publishing arena, it's sitting in books and what have you. Exactly. And we are telling everybody that yes, women can do it. I don't see why not. Give it a few years and you'll be surprised at how mindsets will begin to change, to shift. Yeah. Yeah. Because yes, we're being empowered, but we want to be enabled as well. We want to be enabled. And being enabled is about ensuring that whatever resources are required are available so that we can use those as stepping stones to become what we want to be. Women are that good.
Okay, so I think it's about time for us to even talk about what EWN is doing to enable women, as you're saying right now. So I think we've got some pictures that I would like, Kwame, if we can put up those pictures and then at least show what it is that has been happening with EWN and how they've been influencing Africa and Ghana. Okay, so here I think it's a footage about, okay, it's about the visionaries of EWAN. What about the next one?
Yeah, so this is, oh, it went away. Okay, so these are the fantastic ladies who started EWAN. It was launched in 2016, which is why we're 5 years old.
Okay.
And there are a whole lot of activities lined up for our, you know, big celebration.
Okay.
Yeah, our 5th birthday. And the other pictures are, you know, some of the things that we...
Okay,
you know. So
celebrating women of impact.
Celebrating women of impact. We see you, be bold. So that's our theme and that's our tagline right there. It means get out there, let everybody know that you are also impacting within your space.
And that's what I like. I like the fit jam.
We have a lot of fun. You can join virtually if you want, or you can go to the location. Yeah. So you pay as little as 60 cedis and you join those fantastic ladies and move.
Yeah, because the beautiful thing is that, you know, a lot of times our work and no play makes, you know,
we have a lot of fun at EWN. We sure do.
So
but for COVID. But
oh,
even
yeah.
that, we have it online.
Oh, that's beautiful.
We zoom our fun. Yes, we zoom our fun.
Amazing. Yeah. I think this was a CSR conversation with Newmont.
Yeah, you know, we've talked about so many other things. This is very, very recent. That's Janet right there, one of the executive committee members. This is a collaboration with Newmont to give to Pantan Hospital. It's still ongoing. And it's something that we're going to be doing throughout. And we've worked with the SOS Children's Village before. Oh, okay. Donated to them. We've also supported some families in Choco. So there are some activities that we do impacting our community.
Yeah, and this is Women on the Go, which shows on ETV on Sundays, where we have a lot of the ladies
telling their
about
stories.
Yes.
Telling their story. And how they have impacted. And this is important. It's important for the girl child, and it's important for other women as well. That's showcasing that, you know, people had challenges, but they surmounted them all. They were able to, you know, jump over all those hurdles, so you can do it as well. So that's, you know, some of our members going out there to be on Springboard too. Yeah. Oh, this was an amazing one. This one right here. Yeah, this is
creating impact in your space.
Yeah, the High Commissioner of Rwanda, who you know, was the guest speaker at one of our Empowered Women series webinars. Yeah, and she talked about how she impacted. She didn't go for the high position. She just wanted to impact. And that's how come she's gotten this far. So it's just a good reminder of us. And Thelma right there on the right, she's Ghanaian. She works from Rwanda.
Ah, I see Thelma Kwe.
Impacting in a big way in IT, at policy level, talking to governments around Africa. And Emma is one of the...
Yeah, she's the Chief Director of Global Media Alliance.
Of course she is. You know, I forgot to mention that EWN currently is run by 7 wonderful ladies, and I'm one of them. We're the executive committee, so we kind of look after the day-to-day issues associated with EWN. Of course, ably supported by so many wonderful sisters like Hazel.
Yes. Thank you so much. So to wrap up our show, could we just talk about, you know, briefly, what's your take on Africa Rising? Because we've been hearing Africa Rising for a very long time. Is Africa really rising?
Slowly.
Slowly.
Yes.
Okay, so what would you say? Is Africa really rising?
Yes, but just like Hazel said, it's slow. We have to be more intentional, right? Yeah. And say this is what we want. These are the rubrics. These are the steps. Exactly. And then we can go back and look and see, did we really follow those steps? And if we did and it didn't work, we go back to the drawing table. But we talk a lot. You see, which is a problem.
We need to put some action to it.
And we do very little. It's the same with women empowerment. Now it's not empowerment. We want the women to be enabled, so that, you know, things will begin to happen, and it's for the good of everybody.
Thank you very much. It's been a wonderful conversation time with you, and I really don't want to stop. I wanted to keep going on and on and on and on, but I want to say thank you, and I know that we're definitely going to talk again about, you know, how to enable women in whatever space they find themselves. I'm really, really grateful. So viewers, As usual, I always like to acknowledge those of you who are watching us on Facebook and from wherever it is you are. I did not forget you. The conversation was really interesting, so I'm doing it right now. I'd like to acknowledge the presence of people who have sent their waves from all over the world. I see a wave from Pakistan, from Morocco, from Egypt, from Buenos Aires. I see another wave from Abuja, from Newi, from Oka. You're all in Nigeria. Okay, fine. Thank you very much. I see a wave from Burkina Faso, from Mauritius, from Bangladesh, from Dubai, from India. Thank you all for joining in. And I see lots and lots of comments. Wow, EWN, when are you coming to Togo? That's what they're saying. When are you coming to Togo? We need conversation like this.
Yes.
All right. And I also see waves from different parts of Ghana. Tamale, thank you so much. I see so many waves from you. I see waves from the Western region, probably our family members, you know. That's our strong support base. From the Volta region, from Sunyani, from, where again am I seeing? Okay, from Central region, I see you. From Winneba, thank you so much for you all joining in the conversation. It doesn't end there. The conversation continues on our social media platforms. If you ask us any question, we'll definitely move it to Joyce and Hazel to help us answer them. And so please, you get your answers, okay? Do not worry. Send the questions in. The repeat broadcast of this show comes to you every Saturday at 12 noon. So if you have missed it today, no problem. The repeat is coming on, you know, at 12 noon on Saturday. And we also have it on Facebook Live. So you could just go to our Facebook page at eTVGhana and you get to watch it again. And by tomorrow, it will be uploaded to our YouTube channel. So there are so many ways of getting to watch this over and over and over again. And I want to say a big thank you to you all who have been with us on TV. Wow, you're amazing. So do enjoy the rest of our interesting lineup for you. Bye-bye.